Samsung may indeed launch its ambitious trifold smartphone in the US. Internal discussions are ongoing regarding the potential introduction of the Galaxy Trifold stateside. While the company's first trifold smartphone is nearing its debut, several critical elements remain uncertain. Perhaps the most significant ambiguity is the exact availability of the phone. Although there may be positive news for consumers in the US, Samsung is still debating which markets to release its next trifold smartphone in, and the US is part of the talk, according to a recent report. But before we start, hello everyone, welcome to ZaidiEsTech. You are here with Zaidi. Let's get into it. Citing a person familiar with the company's plans, CNN reported that Samsung is considering launching the device in the US and other markets. That would be a shift of approach for the corporation, which generally introduces new smartphone categories in a more limited way. The last example is the Z Fold 6 SA, which was only available in South Korea and China. Samsung is not the first manufacturer to produce a smartphone with two hinges that fold into three halves, which lends it the trifold label. The pioneer of such a design factor was Huawei, which has already introduced the second iteration of its trifold phone. However, Huawei doesn't sell its devices in the US. The device, which may be called Galaxy Trifold, will be introduced before the end of the year, with some speculation suggesting a premiere as early as October. That later story is the first time anyone has suggested that Samsung is thinking about a global launch instead of a limited release, which may act as a test before a wider release at a later stage. As a gadget enthusiast, I'm excited about the concept of making a brand new form factor more widely available. Lately, some of the most inventive smartphone advances have been taking place in China without reaching the American market. If Samsung indeed launches its trifold device in the US, it would undoubtedly be a welcome surprise for many Americans. This move could also accelerate the development of the form factor. After all, if it finds success in arguably the most significant market in the world, Samsung will have strong motivation to continue its development. Huawei is now the only brand selling trifold phones to consumers, the Mate XT and Mate XTS. However, their distribution is limited to China. While it's possible to buy one outside the country, doing so isn't easy. Samsung's next trifold, said to be called the Galaxy Trifold, is said to include a different unfolding mechanism than Huawei's model and is slated to ship in the US. Tech influencer Austin Evans, who has 5.68 million YouTube subscribers, stated that after living with the Z Fold 7, he's optimistic that Samsung will do well with its triple screen. It's going to be incredibly expensive and niche, but to me it serves two roles for Samsung: a halo effect from its other products and a way to continue their quest to own the foldable space in a way they had kind of lost the last few years to the Chinese market, said Evans. Evans isn't convinced about the practicality or durability of trifolds just yet. I'm sure the production will be incredibly limited, he remarked. A handful of aficionados will buy them to flex on their pals. Everyone else will look at it as a cool Samsung phone and go get an S25. Although the term trifold is being frequently used, these models of phones only fold on two hinges. We like the name triple screen phone because of the three displays that are available when the phone is fully unfolded. Due to many rumors, we already have some notion of what the Z Trifold might look like. According to animations that Tech Heist displayed on X last week, the main display will presumably fold in from the sides. When the phone is closed, there is a separate display on the other side of the phone. A rumor from South Korea also highlighted other specs: a 10-inch OLED display, a triple camera system with a 200-megapixel main camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 10-megapixel telephoto camera. The price tag should be roughly $3,000. On the other hand, the AI smart glasses. Samsung also appears set to battle Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses with its own intelligent spectacles. Samsung's version will apparently be audio-only, powered by Qualcomm's Z1 chip for AI smart glasses, and will probably run Android XR. Evans isn't so sure that Samsung will be able to compete with Meta. Meta has such a dominating position with Ray-Ban right now, and the rumors seem pretty clear that we'll be getting a big update at Meta Connect this month. He said, Samsung is correct, but I'm unconvinced it's the company that will crack this. It does feel like Meta's market to lose. And finally, the exclusive One UI 8 provides us our first glimpse at Samsung's future trifold phone. Samsung is likely to showcase its next generation of foldables as we bring it to you courtesy of One UI 8. Thanks to animations within the current One UI 8 beta, we now have a reasonable idea of what the Galaxy Trifold could look like ahead of its approaching introduction. As you can see, Samsung's trifold flagship will likely contain 3 rear panels. The leftmost rear panel will likely house the triple rear camera array and camera island akin to what we see in current Z Fold flagships. The middle panel will likely contain the cover display, and you can make out the front-facing camera for when the gadget is in its folded configuration. The rightmost panel doesn't appear to have bezels, indicating that it could be just a panel, not a display. Here's a dark rendition of the same video, giving us a better look at the display setup. One aspect in which the Samsung Galaxy G Fold will likely differ from Huawei's Mate XT is that both the hinges on Samsung's foldable will fold inwards, like a G-shaped fold similar to Samsung Display's Flex D prototypes. In contrast, Huawei Foldable has one inside folding and one outward folding hinge, which is referred to as an S-shaped fold. Here's a glimpse at how the Galaxy G Fold will likely fold and unfold. You can notice in the animation that there are 2 inward folding hinges on the Z Fold. It also corroborates the point that the rightmost panel, leftmost when folded towards the folding display, is just a blank rear panel, not a usable display. Looking attentively, you will also note that the 2 hinges are different sizes. This is likely to sandwich the display better, as equally sized hinges will not give a flat fold without stressing and breaking the display. The blank rear panel is designed to be in the midst of this sandwich. In fact, Samsung also has a warning animation encouraging users not to fold the panel with the back cameras first, perhaps because the other hinge is smaller. If you attempt to fold it in this manner, the blank back panel will not fold flat on top of the rear camera panel without breaking. The unfolding animation also provides us a glance at the side frame, which is recessed in the middle, likely to fit the volume rocker and the side button. Samsung doesn't seem to be calling the gadget Galaxy Trifold in these animation files, though. Instead, the device is referred to as Multifold 7. There's a chance that it could only be a working code name and not the final marketing name. Side note, it would be inaccurate to label this foldable a triple screen foldable, since there are simply 2 displays. Calling it a trifold is also technically wrong, as there are 2 folding hinges, not 3. However, the industry usually refers to such foldables as trifold, therefore the wrong name has stayed for now. Multifold would be a better term, so let's hope Samsung puts its weight behind this word in some way. Outside of one hint at the last Samsung Unpacked, Samsung hasn't revealed any plans for its trifold foldable yet, so these animation files still need to be handled with a touch of suspicion. There's a potential that these are only working files, and Samsung's trifold foldable could wind up looking like something else entirely. There's also a chance it doesn't get unveiled at the forthcoming Unpacked 2, so keep an open mind. Either way, we'll keep you updated when we learn more. And that wraps up today's deep dive into Samsung's rumored trifold smartphone and their upcoming smart glasses. If Samsung really brings this device to the US, it could change the entire foldable game, and we'll be here to cover every single update for you. What do you think? Would you actually spend $3,000 on a futuristic trifold phone? Or do you think it's just another flashy concept? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to ZaidiEsTech, and ring the bell so you never miss out on the latest in smartphones, foldables, and all things tech. This is Zaidi from ZaidiEsTech, signing off. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more exciting updates, and as always, peace out.